أكمل لها دينها وكمل بمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم مكارم الأخلاق كلها. أحمدك ربي حمد الشاكرين وأستغفرك استغفار التائبين، وأصلي وأسلم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ولي الصالحين. سبحانك ربي سبحانك، من للعباد غيره، ومن يدبر الأمر ويعدل المائل، من يشفي المريض ومن يرعى الأجنة في بطون الحوامل، من يرزق العصاة ولولا حلمه لأكلوا المزابل، من ينصر المظلوم ولولا عدله لاستوى القتيل والقاتل، من يظهر الحق ولولا لطفه لحكم القضاة بالباطل، من الذي يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه؟ الله ربي لا أريد سواه، هل في الوجود حقيقة إلا هو؟ أنا لا أضام وفي رحابك عصمتي، أنا لا أخاف وفي رضاك أماني، أنا لا أخاف الموت بل هو غايتي ووسيلتي لتحقق الرغبات، فبه يتاح لي اللقاء وتزدهي روحي برؤية قائد القادات. وأشهد أن سيدنا وإمامنا وقائدنا وحبيبنا رسول رب العالمين وصفوة خلق الله أجمعين رسول الله محمد صلوات ربي وسلامه عليك، هو القائل صلى الله عليه وسلم: كل أمتي يدخلون الجنة إلا من أبى. قيل ومن يأبى يا رسول الله؟ قال: من أطاعني دخل الجنة ومن عصاني فقد أبى. يا رسول الله، يا بدر الدجى، أبا الزهراء، أبا الزهراء، قد جاوزت قدري بمدحك بيد أن لي انتسابا، فما عرف البلاغة ذو بيان إذا لم يتخذك له كتابا. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليك سيدي يا رسول الله، صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما، فبه تنال جنة ونعيما. الله يجزي من يصلي مرة 10 ويبقى في النعيم مقيما. All praises due to Allah, the master of the whole universe, the creator, the sustainer, the provider, the cherisher. I bear witness that there is no God worthy of our worship, our submission, our true love except Allah the Almighty. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the best human being ever, the man who came with the final and the last of the messages from Allah, the one who fulfills the message, the one who conveyed the mission and conveyed the message from Allah. We are sending our blessings and our salutations to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to his household, to the companions of Rasulullah, to the followers of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. My brothers and sisters in Islam, I just wanted to welcome all of you in the house of Allah. Welcome to another Jumu'ah, another gathering, another time that we gather together in the house of Allah. And since almost 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting lots of calls, almost like 25 calls since 8 o'clock in the morning, and all the calls are asking, Imam, is our masjid is okay? Imam, do we have khutbah today? Do we have Jumu'ah today? Is our masjid is open today? And I liked all the calls and appreciate our brothers and sisters who woke up in the morning, wanted to check, number one, on their masjid. What a beautiful community. What an amazing community that people are asking about their masjid. Imam, do we have any damage in the masjid? I said, Alhamdulillah, our masjid is okay. Our masjid is fine. And we have Jumu'ah and we open for Jumu'ah today. And that made me today actually to think about one of the names of Allah that I wanted to share my thought today with all of you. I started to get some reflections on the name of Allah that lots of people don't pay attention to. We know the name of Allah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Ghafur, Al-Malik. But one of the names that we can see this hurricane and what happened in the hurricane is the manifestation of the name of Allah. That name is the name of Allah, Al-Latief. Allah, one of His names, that He is Al-Latief. Allah said in the Quran, in 5 positions, Al-Latief Al-Khabir. In other positions, Allah said, Allahu Latifun bi'ibadih. And to explain the word Al-Latif, the name of Allah, Al-Latif, in one word, it is impossible. Because Al-Latif means the merciful, the one who caring of His servants, the one who plans for His believers, the one who is taking care of them, the one who is so kind and gentle to His believers and to His creation. The name of Allah, Al-Latif, means He has His own plan. In the background, Allah plans discreetly, secretly, behind the curtains. Allah's plan is better than our plan. And Allah is the best of the planners. He knows everything. He has the destiny of everything. He has His rahmah, His mercy can come to you from certain ways that you never anticipated. Can you imagine yesterday when we were sleeping that Allah is protecting all of us? You might put your head on the pillow and all of a sudden there is a huge wind came and maybe one of the trees might fall into your roof. But Allah had protected you. Allah had made something to you while you are sleeping. And the plan of Allah is always hidden, is always in the background. And sometimes you are not aware of the plan of Allah. Allah's kindness, Allah's gentleness, Allah's mercy is always there. But sometimes, and most of the times, we are not aware. And that's why, since we are not aware, and since it's behind the curtains, it is called Lutf, Latif. And just for your information, Allah in 5 positions in the Quran followed the name Al-Latief with Al-Khabir. Al-Latief, Al-Khabir. Because Al-Latief, he is aware and planning the secrets, the hidden. Al-Khabir, he is aware of everything in public. So this combination, always you will find them in the Quran together. Al-Latief al-Khabir. And because of his destiny, always goes under the rugs, behind the curtains, behind the scene. Sometimes we do not realize what Allah is doing for us. Sometimes, after 10, 15 years, you say to yourself, Subhanallah, you know what? If Allah made me to choose that job that I was crying for, it wasn't good at me. It wasn't good for me. And Allah planned something better for me. Sometimes we realize this. And in most of the cases, we do not realize the wisdom behind the actions of Allah. And let me tell you something. When you analyze the Quran regarding the name of Allah, Al-Latief, you will find one of the positions that Allah mentioned in Surah Yusuf. And the best of the manifestations of the name of Allah, Al-Latief, is Surah Yusuf. Let me explain a little bit so you can understand fully what is the name of Allah, Al-Latief, which is roughly translated in English to the subtle. The subtle. Allah's subtlety. Allah's subtlety is all beyond our imagination. That is, when you analyze the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, Yusuf will be chosen as a prophet of Allah. So why Allah makes his brothers to get jealous at him, and they will end up putting him in the bottom of the well? That's number one. Number two, Allah made the caravan to pass by him, and they get thirsty. They want to get some water. Then they found Yusuf alayhi salam. Number three, when he was raised up in the house of the king and got seduced by the wife, then he ended up in jail. You might ask yourself, how come and how can Allah save his prophet from being into jail? How can Allah save him from jail? And if you are the person who is writing the script of the destiny of Yusuf alayhi salam, you might say, you know what? Allah can make an earthquake so he can save him from jail. Or Allah can send something to shatter the wall and save Yusuf alayhi salam. No. You know what happened? And this is the name of Allah, Al-Latief. And this is the hikmah. This is the plan of Allah. Allah made a little dream to go at night to the room of the king. So he gets the dream and he asks his advisors to give him interpretation, and they fail. And eventually they send to Yusuf alayhi salam to give interpretation for the dream. Then he comes out with dignity and honor to be the minister of finance in the government of the ancient Egypt at that time. A dream. And why Allah is doing this? Because Allah is Al-Latief. Yesterday, we experienced the hurricane, the storm, and Allah was Latif for us. It could be worse, and Allah had protected us. Allah answered our dua because Allah is Al-Latief to us. Allah plans something different. Allah showed His mercy to us in a very amazing way. You don't know what might come to your house, come to your family, but Allah's lutf showered all of us, and we were able to come again to the masjid to witness another Jumu'ah. That's why we all say Alhamdulillah. We are the ummah of Alhamdulillah. Allah's plan behind the curtains. You know the story of Musa alayhi salam, when Allah ordered his mom to put him in a basket and he was taken to the palace of Fir'aun. Musa alayhi salam was a baby. Allah promised his mother that he is going to send Musa back to her. Do not grieve, do not cry. We are going to send him back to you. Now you might ask yourself, Musa, the baby, now in the castle of Fir'aun, how can Allah send him back to his mother? If you are the person who is writing the destiny or the script, you might say, yes, we will send one of the angels to kidnap Musa to take him to his mother. That's not how the lutf is of Allah working. Allah made the command to Musa not to take any sip of milk from any of the women who tried to nurse feed him. And they started to search for a woman who can nurse feed the baby. And Allah made the choice to be only to his mother, so she can take him back safely, and moreover, she will get paid for that. And why? Because Allah is Al-Latief. This is His name. And Allah mentioned those names for us so we can use them in our du'at. And very rare number of Muslims who use the name of Allah, Al-Latief, in their du'at. If you have a problem, if you have a trouble, if you have a financial problem and you cannot find any solution, raise your hand to Allah and say, Oh Allah, Ya Latif, find a solution for me. Oh Allah, I can do nothing. And because you are Al-Latif, you will find a solution for me. This is Allah. Allahu Latifun bi'ibadih. And I'm sure that every one of you is listening to me right now. Every one of you have a story in his life. Shows how Allah was Al-Latif to you. Even while you are choosing a job or a certain house, or you had a financial problem, or during the time of engagement, during the time of the marriage, or even with your friends. Even sometimes we think the destiny of Allah is so hard, Imam. And after 10 years or something, you discover, no, Allah was so merciful to me, but I didn't know at that time. Allah was so kind. If Allah gave me the ability to plan my life according to my thinking, I would ruin my life. I would destroy my life. That's why we only depend on Allah, trusting Allah's plan. Rabbul Khair la ya'ti illa bil khair. Allah is the one who owns the goodness. He always brings nothing but goodness. And this is actually our iman, our belief. Some people might think the wind was too hard, Imam. But you know what? It could be worse. But Allah was Latif to us, to allow us to have another opportunity so we can meet in the masjid. Sometimes when people feel scared, panic during the hurricane, I always told the people, just keep yourself remembering Allah. Allah said, Ala bi dhikrillah tatma'innul qulub. With the remembrance of Allah, hearts will get calm, will be in peace. If you want to be in peace, remember Allah. And remember, Allah is Al-Latief, Al-Khabir. One of the things that we see during the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, at the early days of da'wah, the disbelievers of Quraysh, of Mecca at that time, they decided to write agreement, a treaty. It is called the boycott treaty. And they put some lines that they will not sell anything to Muslims. They will not marry from them. They will not buy anything from them. They will not change any goods, any food, any fruit with the Muslims. And they kept them in a certain place. It is called Shi'bu Abi Talib. For 3 years, they boycotted Muslims for 3 years. And you can, if you read about what happened during these 3 years, the starvation, the famine, many of kids got killed, many of people died. And the Sahaba came to the Prophet Muhammad, and they had put and tightened a piece of rock over their stomachs so they do not feel the hunger, the pain of the hunger. And they came to Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, find a solution for us. We are so hungry to the point that we put one piece of rock over our stomachs. Rasulullah had left his shirt, and they found that Rasulullah put 2 pieces of rocks. This is the Prophet Muhammad. And you have lots of stories, but just to save some of the time, how Allah ended the boycott. You might say, yes, Allah will send a wind to the disbelievers, like nowadays. Imam, look at what happens in Gaza. Look at what happens to Palestine. Look what happens to our brothers in Sudan. So why Allah is allowing this chaos to happen to the Muslims? Why Allah is not sending Jibreel? Why Allah is not sending Tayran Ababil as He made with Abraha when they wanted to destroy the Kaaba with the elephant? Are you Allah? Al-Latief, Al-Khabir? He knows what He is doing. And He has His own plan. We might not be able to see it, to understand it, but we believe in Him, that He has His own plan. You know what happened? A little insect a little mite, a little centipede went to the treaty that was hanged in the Kaaba, inside the Kaaba, and the little insect, the little centipede started to eat in every place in the treaty. It moved only to the words. It started to eat the words, and it ate everything except one phrase, Bismika Allahum, in the name of Allah. It ate everything except Bismika Allahum. Who gave the order to this little insect? Who gave the order to eat everything except the name of Allah? And while the uncle of the Prophet Muhammad arguing with the leaders, how come you keep people dying, starving for food? He said, because we already have a treaty. He said, where is the treaty? They opened the Kaaba. They found no treaty. They found only the name of Allah. And that was the end of the boycott. Sometimes you do not expect the plan of Allah. Just make a dua for Him. Trust Allah. Place your trust in Him. And He will find a way out for you. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العلي العظيم. الحمد لله الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. My brothers and sisters in Islam, I think after we had experienced yesterday, we should reflect on the name of Allah, Al-Latief. It's a good chance for all of us to think of this name, that Allah Latifun bi'ibadih. Allah is so kind, so merciful, so gentle. Allah plans everything, maybe discreetly, maybe secretly behind the curtains. But we have to have this firm belief in Allah, that He runs everything, taking care of all of our affairs. Just make a dua for Him. In these moments, we need to show the gratitude to Allah. And no matter what happens, Alhamdulillah for everything. Alhamdulillah that our masjid is safe. Alhamdulillah that our family members are safe. Alhamdulillah that we are safe. Alhamdulillah that we were able to come to the masjid to have Jumu'ah today. We are the ummah of Alhamdulillah, and I mean it today. It's not just a lip service. It's not just to move your lips and your tongue by saying Alhamdulillah, but to feel it. How many people might face hard time yesterday? How many people you might find them in the hospital? Some of the news came that some people died yesterday because of what happened in the hurricane. So Alhamdulillah, we ask Allah to give cure and healing for everyone is suffering from this hurricane. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give cure and healing and speed recovery for everyone might suffer of something. It is the time that we need to stay in solidarity. And I liked that sense and that feeling of the messages all the night yesterday. People kept checking on each other as one family, as one community. May Allah bless us all. Allahumma ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullahu khairah. Please make a dua for everyone, for every Muslim, for every human being with shifa and a quick recovery. Allahumma ameen. Allahumma ighfir lana dhunubana wa israfana fi amrina. اللهم ثبت أقدامنا اللهم توفنا مسلمين وألحقنا بالصالحين واحشرنا يا ربنا في زمرة خير المرسلين. اللهم تول أمرنا وأحسن خلاصنا وفك أسرنا وتوفنا وأنت راض عنا يا كريم، إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته، ولا مريضا إلا شفيته، ولا ميتا إلا رحمته، ولا دينا إلا قضيته، ولا هما إلا فرجته، ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة إلا وقضيتها ويسرتها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. آمين يا رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خيرا وأقم الصلاة. And just wanted to remind you, inshallah, do not forget your masjid from your donation. You can find the boxes here on the right side. May Allah accept from all of you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.